they continue on with whatever lineup that they have right now. But can you imagine if like a player like Carrillo actually joins BTR playing side by side with Federales? That's mind blowing.
I know, and not just we're talking about teams, the players like Scout, LB, also the other side that we don't see a lot. If only they can actually pick up the players and mix and match. I mean, probably put some boundaries, of course, the maximum of what players you can actually have in a team. But it'll be fun to watch, and also it just brings a different value for the other regions, and you get to learn from other regions as well. Like how they used to play, we get to have a bit of a, knowing their mentality and mindset, and kind of a mixture of trading knowledge in PUBG Mobile. That'd be fun to actually implement, hopefully one day. But when it comes to the flight path, slightly skewed to its left, but the circle, it's going to be a 50-50 very iffy circle.
This is super 50-50, right, Chi? Like, there's no telling at this point whether it will go to Main Peninsula or Main Philippines. Of course, we all know our favorite circle. We might get an idea at stage number 2, but even so, we can't be sure. It could be like still a 50-50 at stage 2, and that will make those, and that will like make the players like, just scratch their head, right? Like, where are they going to play? If it's still 50-50 by stage 2 or even stage 3, that is crazy. Even if you want to play by the bay, just because you want to keep it safe and circle hardships to one side and you kind of want to swim over. Like, this is an ocean. It's not a river. It's an ocean. So either way, it's still going to be super hard.
I agree. And I anticipate around Farm and Ferry Pier, that's going to be heavily favored by the teams, because if you don't know whether it's 50-50, like you mentioned, it's not a river, it's a huge ocean in between, but we do have some players swap. Interesting. Bond for 52, I see. I guess Bond is just going to be deployed in Rondo, I guess. With only 3 days, it's so hard for the coaching staff to determine who's going to be their main roster for their lineup here.
Yeah, and looks like they put out the Bond of Fire. We'll put in Icy instead. Oh, yeah. With his ice.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
Yeah, but Team 52, I mean, they are currently at the stage where, number 16 points, even to pick into the top 5, like the gap now is 32 points. It's really hard. Like they're at the point that they need to just do anything and everything to try to give them a bit of hope towards the end of the day to see whether mathematically it's still possible for Team 52 to at least be in the top 5 by the end of tomorrow. And mind everyone that tomorrow we have 7 matches instead of the standard 6. So maybe they might give a bit of hope to some of those teams on the outer side or on the second half of our overall charts.
And to put in the same boat, I would probably add into the fray that's going to be Nemesis. These two teams, 52 and Nemesis, like you mentioned, they have to make use, fully, efficiently use day number 2 here, because if not, it's going to be hard for them to have even a slight hope to get number 5. But for the rest of starting from 14th place up to 9th place, from Hive down to SP, Sharper Esports, this is going to be the team that will try to hunt people down just to catch up for the points, because the one that try to play it safe, it's going to be starting from MEC towards Pandem, who slightly want to be a bit more cautious because they cannot afford to lose any round too early. While the others on top, that's going to be a top 4, they can have a bit of wiggle room, but of course 100% they will try to be alive as long as they can, because yesterday we saw how Hale just dropped the chart, and now they place themselves at 7th place. Now Hale, very different from yesterday's start. Yesterday was super aggressive at first, but today we don't see a lot of Hale yet.
Well, we're going to see probably a lot more of Xavier. That includes now. This one of a player from Team Panda, but a couple of shots. It doesn't seem like they're going to commit to this one. Maybe they're going to focus on to like, okay, let's play closer to the center in anticipation of where the circle will go instead of trying to chase one player and not trying to focus on getting the prime positions. The hill outside Pachiki is quite a prime position, and it's definitely a spot that they are very familiar with. So they are not too in a hurry to gain that 1 point. So they leave it to maybe how the circle will go before they decide on their next action.
Yeah, I think stage number 2 is going to be the factor whether they want to start engage or not, unless if they're being forced opponent to it, because Nemesis might get in between 52, and last we saw MJ is there as well. And I did mention earlier on Ferry Pier, it's going to be a hot spot. This is going to be around nearby the bridge, on the outskirts of Ferry Pier. And since teams are unsure about whether it's going to be 50-50, like I mentioned before, stage 2 probably going to be the determinant factor whether they will engage or not. Because if they engage now, high chance they might get caught themselves in a crossfire because everybody moving where they're at, so everybody can't stop moving. Whoever's trying to take the center of the circle, whether to cross the bridge or not. But for YG, I think this is actually very good news for them. And Hive as well.
Yeah, since the starting point is in mid to the base, so they'll be praying hard that the circle goes towards them and they'll have a good advantage from there. I don't see any other team from the main peninsula committing to the mid to the base yet. A lot of them still hovering around like Pochinki, somewhere not too far at least. But if everyone's around here, like Xavier, we have BTR, we have Team Pandem, maybe we'll see a fight. Or maybe even not, because everyone's just nervous about where the stage 2 circle will go.
Well, if it's still 50-50, we do know it's going to be a bloodbath on top Ferry Pier then. Because everybody seems to be focusing on that. And also, the other side of Ferry Pier, just across the other side, is the, what you call it, the Fisherman Village.